Poli and Don Polly and Smad Place in this field, I think.
Vautour, Jonathan, didn't do too much harm to the form of the King George yesterday. Where do you stand on where Don Cossack would have finished had he stood up?
He might well have won it.
Okay. And will his jumping stand up today?
Well, that's one of the questions, isn't it? And as David has said, it's also a track that he's not shown his best form at yet. I mean, he's thrashed Q Card around Aintree, he's beaten Jackadam comfortably enough in Ireland, but at Cheltenham it hasn't really gone his way yet.
So the runners begin to get themselves organised for the parade for the 2016 Cheltenham Gold Cup, sponsored this year for the first time by Tamiko, and the parade is led by Carlingford Lock, a 4-time Grade 1 winner, including 2 Irish Gold Cups back-to-back. Barry Geraghty has the ride for Chapirk Manus. He was, however, only 9th in the race last year. And so to Q Card, seeking a 7th Grade 1 success. Paddy Brennan, 6 years on from his Gold Cup success aboard Imperial Commander. Can lightning strike twice for him and cap a memorable week for Colin Tizard? Jackadam, Ruby Walsh in the saddle for Willie Mullins and Susanna Ritchie. Runner-up in the race 12 months ago, now a year older and perhaps a year stronger. Can he go one better? Don Cossack, the 11-time chase winner. Bryan Cooper and Gordon Elliot teaming up for Gigginstown, winner of the Punchestown Gold Cup and the Melling Chase. So emphatic under A.P. McCoy at Aintree last spring. On then to the street fighter that is Don Polly, a winner of all bar one of his 6 starts over fences. He's got 3 Grade 1 successes to his name, including that game and hard-fought victory in the Lexus at Leopardstown over Christmas. Irish Cavalier, perhaps making up the numbers for Rebecca Curtis. Paul Townend takes the ride. Stablemate is O'Whalen's Boy, a winner of the RSA Chase 2 years ago. Noel Feely in the saddle on the back of his win aboard You Know What I Mean, Harry, some 35 minutes or so ago. It'll be a 3rd appearance in the race for the now 12-year-old on his own. No 12-year-old has won this since What a Myth back in 1969 on his own, denied by a little more than a flared nostril or two 2 years ago. And then Smad Place, 8th in the race last year, 4th in the King George. Either side of that effort, an emphatic Hennessy success and a defeat of the Grand National hero Many Clads here at the end of January. Runners on their way to post for the 2016 Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup, and Don Cossack heads the market.
Well, considering this race has been bet on for the last 12 months, it's a really, really lively last-minute market. Don Cossack, the mover this morning, undoubtedly going to go off favourite, but Q Card is coming to challenge it. It's going to be 9-4. This is my guess on the SP. 9-4 Don Cossack, 11-4 Q Card, been really strongly supported, and then 4-1 each of 2, Jackadam and Don Polly. But it won't only be Colin Tizard who gets millions if Q Card wins now. Don Cossack favourite, Q Card a well-back second favourite.
Let's talk about last year's runner-up, Jackadam. Year older, perhaps a year stronger, David.
Yes, it'll be a very different race from last year. I suspect it won't be so strongly run. The ground will not be quite as easy as it was then. And the level of form there, I think, is a bit behind the form of the 2 we talked about earlier. But he has run so well in this race before that will give his supporters hope.
He comes back from injury following that fall here at the end of January. The possibility of not such a strongly run Gold Cup, Jonathan, is that a concern for the street fighter Don Polly?
Well, the idea is that he'll pick up, if they all over race or they go very strongly, his latent stamina will come into play. I mean, he's a shorter price than his stable companion, which I don't think many people would have envisaged, because for all that he is a thorough stayer, the form just doesn't stack up as well as the other 3 of the single figure price horses.
Q Card is the best of the British. Smad Place, hopefully, is not far behind him. He's the one most likely to make the early running, isn't he, David?
I would suspect that he will. His form You mentioned his run in the King George. His form, good though it is, doesn't stand up against some of the others. When he beat Many Clouds here, Many Clouds perhaps was being trained with both eyes on the Grand National, and in a very attritional race, he just ran out of puff at the end of it, and perhaps that margin that day flattered Smad Place.
The runners beginning to make their way out onto the course for the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup. A field of 9 drawn together this year. Will Irish eyes smile once again? Will it be 8 on the week for Walsh and Mullins? Can Q Card become a horse in a million and crown a magnificent week for Colin Tizard and give Paddy Brennan a second Cheltenham Gold Cup? We can find out in the company of Mike Cattermole.
So they're facing up to the tape here for the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup, and away they go. To an enormous cheer from the crowd, and racing over this extended 3 1/4 miles, 22 fences. O'Whalen's Boy is one of the first to begin on the inside. Smad Place, one of the established front runners of the race, and Don Cossack between horses. Got in a bit tight there, Smad Place. On his own on the outside, is already being driven along by Patrick Mullins. Q-Card, Jacadam behind them. As they come towards the second, Carniford Lock on the inside is next, followed by the white cap of Don Poley, and the grey Irish Cavalier brings up the rear. So 2 fences down and 20 more to go. They'll jump those fences 3 times today. So as they head away from us up the hill here, O'Whalen's Boy is the pace setter. Smad Place is content to take a lead today. Races close by him, however, on the inside. Don Cossack is wider with On His Own. Jacadam and Ruby Walsh racing in 5th place, followed by Q-Card in the blue colours as they come to the next. Just left his hind legs trailing a touch there, Q-Card. Carniford Lock, and then Don Poley at the back of the field as they head down now towards the water jump. Smad Place being taken on here by O'Whalen's Boy. All jump the water safely enough. Racing in 3rd place is On His Own. Don Cossack in the sheepskin noseband is in 4th. Alongside him is Jacadam as they go over the first open ditch. Q-Card behind him, Carniford Lock, and then Don Poley at the back of the field. 2 or 3 lengths away now, Irish Cavalier, maybe already beginning to feel the pinch a bit as they head on towards the far side fence, and a slightly awkward jump by Smad Place, who rather reached at it and sort of darted to the right in mid-air as he did so. That was fence number 6 there. Going across the far side now towards the next open ditch. Smad Place and O'Whalen's Boy. Jacadam sneaking up the inside to go into 3rd place. From Don Cossack close up in 4th, 2 lengths then to Q-Card 5. On His Own has just dropped back a little bit now. Carniford Lock is behind him. Don Poley 3 lengths behind Carniford Lock as they go over the next fence, the highest fence on top of the hill on the far side. And Don Poley only a couple of lengths in front of Irish Cavalier, and in fact they seem to be going a heck of a pace here, because already there's about 20 lengths between first and last. Heading down now towards the 9th fence, a potentially tricky one. Smad Place, O'Whalen's Boy jumps it well. Don Cossack and Jacadam, Q-Card next. Carniford Lock, and then On His Own. 2 or 3 lengths, Davy Russell on Don Poley under a patient ride. And at the back of the field, still looking on, is Paul Townend on Irish Cavalier as the runners head down the hill now towards fence number 10. Smad Place measured it nicely. All streaming over that okay. Again On His Own, just on and off the bride a little bit now, the former Gold Cup runner-up in the cheek pieces on the outside. Smad Place will lead O'Whalen's Boy down the hill with Don Cossack on the outside of Jacadam. These 2 disputing 3rd place. Q-Card and Paddy Brennan are in 5th spot now as they turn and complete their first circuit in the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup of 2016. Carniford Lock and Barry Geraghty on the inside of On His Own, then Don Poley, and at the back still is the grey Irish Cavalier. Superb leap there by Smad Place. Not such a good leap though from Q-Card, who got in a bit tight there. He's still close up in 5th place, however, as they come towards fence number 12. Smad Place and Wayne Hutchinson, another super leap out in front. He led by a couple of lengths there. He almost saw Ruby Walsh looking up at the big screen as he races on. Jacadam in third place. He's just behind O'Whalen's Boy in second. Then Don Cossack and Q-Card keeping tabs on the leading four as they race on up the hill. 3 or 4 lengths away then to Carlingford Lock. And then on his outside, he's flanked by On His Own. Don Poley is next, still under a very patient Davy Russell. And 2 or 3 more then back to Irish Cavalier. Now they head on down the hill towards the next. It's fence number 13. And Smad Place ridden into that. Measured it well from O'Whalen's Boy. Jacadam is absolutely cruising on the inside. Don Cossack's travelling nicely too on the outside as they make their way now towards the water jump. Q-Card is very close up now, moves to dispute to 4th place as they go over the water. And these 5 just begin to open up a little bit now. Carlingford Lock is just behind, just in front, I should say, of On His Own, with Don Poley in attendance as they go to the next open ditch. And again, the leading 5 separated by only 2 lengths now. Carlingford Lock and Don Poley getting into it all the time, getting much closer as they take this last fence over on the far side. O'Whalen's Boy, Smad Plays driven along there, and Jacadam moves smoothly through the gears on the inside to dispute the running with O'Whalen's Boy and Smad Plays. Don Cossack cruising on the outside, likewise Q-Card on the inside, the ditch at the top of the hill, and Jacadam is in front from O'Whalen's Boy, who's still running a blinder. Then on the outside, Don Cossack, followed by Smad Plays, and then Q-Card behind these. Don Poley's about 10 lengths behind them and struggling to pick up these leaders. Davy Russell is asking him a few questions as they go to that next fence. It's Ruby Walsh and Jacadam who are in front, and they're cruising along on the outside. Then O'Whalen's Boy giving Noel Feely a tremendous ride. Don Cossack on the outside for Bryan Cooper now draws alongside to make a line of 3 as they head down towards 4 out. Jacadam, O'Whalen's Boy, mistake by Don Cossack. Q-Card now disputes 3rd place under a patient Paddy Brennan as the runners head off down the hill towards the final 3 fences in the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup of 2016. 4 in a line. On the inside it's Jacadam, Q-Card, O'Whalen's Boy and Don Cossack as they go 3 out. Q-Card is down. Q-Card with every chance is down. He's up on his feet okay though, Paddy Brennan. Can't believe it. And Don Cossack and Jacadam look like fighting out the finish to the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Bryan Cooper on the outside to send Don Cossack to the lead as they straighten up for home. 2 more fences left to go. Jacadam is 2 lengths down there. Yawning gap to Smad Place. Don Poley continues to stay on. Here's the second last. Up towards it now. Don Cossack in tight, got away with it. Jacadam got in close as well. 3 lengths to find. 10 lengths away back in third. Then it's Don Poley. But here's the final fence now for Don Cossack. Comes towards it, measured it beautifully. Jacadam is not going down without a fight, but Don Cossack is 4 lengths clear as they race on up the hill in the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup. And Don Cossack for Gigginstown and Gordon Elliot and Bryan Cooper will win the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup of 2016. Jacadam second for the 2nd year running. Don Poley third. Carlingford Lock pressed for 4th there together with the Grey Irish Cavalier. Smad Place came home next.
An Irish domination of the Tamiko Cheltenham Gold Cup. The mighty Don Cossack wins for the 12th time over fences. His most important success to date, and the most important success to date for the man on his back, Bryan Cooper for Gigginstown and Gordon Elliot. What a frustrating week Gigginstown and Bryan Cooper had, particularly yesterday, until they finally managed to bag a winner. This, however, the one that matters in a race which didn't lack for drama late on, and the departure of Q-Card 3 out changed the complexion of things hugely, as we will see now. Jonathan, he breezed in to take a narrow lead at the 3rd last, but the momentum that he gathered coming down the hill perhaps meant that he didn't pick up there when he should.
He just didn't take off, didn't see the stride, and that's what happens. I mean, what a shame. You know, what a shame. We've had a terrific race, but you know, it could have been an even more terrific race. But there we go.
There was a sense standing here watching it, loads of people watching the big screen. Everyone was prepared for what was going to be a really exciting race, and it was almost that the atmosphere was sucked out of the place by the fall. The cheering was pretty muted, really, for the end of the Gold Cup. It was fairly clear that Don Cossack was getting the better of Jack Adam, and hard as Jack Adam tried, he just wasn't quite good enough against Don Cossack. But the fall of Q Card was the key point of the race.